Alrighty, so we got what should be, a banger of a fight here. It's Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez. So Mike Perry's on a bit of a cold streak at the moment. He's 3-6 in his last 9 fights, and that's just because of the step up in competition for him. Like in reality, he gets tougher fights than he probably can handle, in my opinion. He's a fun fighter, but they give him all these killers, man. And for Daniel Rodriguez, he is definitely the bigger guy. He's got a 3-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. He comes in as a southpaw, and he's able to fight off the front foot or the back foot. He's a very talented boxer. For Mike Perry, he's a little more flat-footed. That's where he likes to generate his power pretty much. When he sits down on his straight right or his overhand right, he'll either throw up a stiff jab as well, but a lot of his boxing combinations or offense in general is telegraphed just with his footwork, because when he does move, it's fairly obvious. When he does move his feet, he's pretty much just looking to strike. He doesn't throw many feints, he doesn't mix things up very often, or, it's just very predictable and telegraphed. So for Daniel Rodriguez, he has a nice snapping jab. He pumps the jab out constantly, especially when the opponent's pressuring and right in front of him. Saw that in the Gerald Green fight. Is his name Gerald Green? I believe so. Gabriel Green. I'm not sure who Gerald Green is. I think it's an NBA player. But Mike's head, he doesn't move it off center line. And, Means was really, making him look silly when he was just popping the jab and just hitting him over and over again. So that's something D-Rod can definitely do. But Mike is dangerous when he's hurt or when he's getting backed up. He's always dangerous pretty much in the fight. He has good cardio on the low key. He has good cardio and he never really loses power through 15 minutes. So a few things Daniel Rodriguez does, which Mike could capitalize on, is that his lead hand will drop after throwing the 3-2. So after he throws the hook, his lead hand drops, and then, that's when he goes for the straight left. But something, Mike could capitalize with, maybe with a left hook of his own. But in my opinion, I think pure boxing, Rodriguez has the advantage here. He's just a bit sharper, he's a bit quicker as well. Alright, so in the grappling for these two. Alright, so Mike has been mixing in the grappling more and more in his recent fights. His takedowns mostly rely on brute strength more than technique, in my opinion. But he does have a nice body lock, and then the outside leg trip after that. He does have good technique on his body lock trips. And he is very strong in that position. But a lot of his, double legs and lifts and stuff, pretty average technique. How these guys win their fights? For Mike Perry, he's got a good chin, he's tough, and he's got considerable power in both his hands, and he carries that for 3 rounds, so he's always dangerous. For Daniel Rodriguez, he has solid takedown defense, and I think Mike's going to be able to get him down. He's got good recoverability, good chin. Saw that in the Dwight Grant fight, he recovered very quickly and started learning his own offense on Dwight. And he's got good cardio and good volume as well. So how these guys lose their fights? For Mike Perry, he's very hittable, those striking tendencies that we talked about before, but also just the out of the octagon stuff is, in my opinion, affects him a lot in the ring. I'm talking about just like discipline, on Till's Instagram live that he had with Mike Perry recently. Mike Perry was saying that he hasn't been taking fighting very seriously, which the type of opponents that he's getting, these killers, and he's not taking it seriously, it's pretty concerning, because these guys are coming to take your head off, and if you're not taking it seriously, you're in for a world of trouble. But yeah, just, not making weight as well in his last fight and eating junk food in fight week, it's just red flags. And also just doing stupid shit with his career, just like his girlfriend being his coach, his corner man. Since that, he's had no structure to his game. He's just been doing very low percentage stuff, very, brute type of game plans he's been coming in to UFC fights with. And, his corner, he's not really providing anything of service. So I'm not a huge fan of that, although it is funny, but just, if I were to bet him, or if I was a sponsor of his, I wouldn't be happy with that. But yeah, so past the victory for these two. Anyway, we'll get past that. For Mike Perry, coming with the heavy forward pressure, look to fence clinch, looks to mix in the grappling, look to land that left hook, as I was talking about before, as he's dropping his lead hand when he's throwing a combo that ends with a 2. But also, with the southpaw versus orthodox stance, look to throw that 2 to the body. For Daniel Rodriguez, in my opinion, I think D-Rod can really sit down on his punches in this fight. Mike isn't a huge counter puncher. He will counter punch every now and then, but mostly he just covers up, especially lately in his recent fights. He will just cover up if his opponent's bombing on him. So, if you see that, just look to sit down your punches, or, sit down your punches to the body or the chest. And also, low calf kick because D-Rod does have very nice low calf kicks. So, if Mike's going to come out in southpaw like he did in the Tim Means fight, look to target that calf. Also, the counter 2 down the pipe when Mike Perry kicks, because his kicks aren't the fastest thing I've ever seen, and also he leaves himself open when he's throwing kicks. So how I see this fight going. So, I can definitely see Mike being the aggressor here, D-Rod on the back foot, pumping out the jab, sitting down on his punches, just planting his feet when he, sees an opening. And I definitely believe he will be landing the better shots. Mike will be landing a few shots of his own, but I think, Rodriguez is just better on the feet and just much quicker as well. Also, in the grappling department, I think Rodriguez will like to keep it on the feet, but I think he's just better in the wrestling department as well, also in the clinch, and also on the mat. So, I just think, D-Rod's better everywhere, and I think Mike's going to need to make it really ugly, or he's going to need a KO bomb, to, get into this fight. Because in my opinion, I think D-Rod's just going to piece him up from a distance that he likes, and maybe even finish Perry because he's just there to be hit. So obviously the prediction is Daniel Rodriguez. And I think he may get a finish on Perry. I think the damage might pile up. It won't be like a one-punch clean KO. Maybe it will. But yeah, in my opinion, I think damage is going to pile up. Maybe if Perry's just really stubborn and he's in southpaw stance, I could definitely see Perry getting finished with leg kicks. But I think D-Rod finishes him maybe late second or in the third round. I think Daniel Rodriguez wins this a large majority of the time. No, it's fucking annoying. Fuck's sake. Alright, fuck it, I don't care. Alright, so we're looking at the lines. I think it's around 65% in favour of Rodriguez at the moment. Well, it's heading that way anyway. I think he wins this fight, around 70% of the time. I think, anything above $1.60 is definitely value, but even over $1, like 56, 57 is value as well. If he were to get up to like $1.70, I'd probably put a few more units on, but in my opinion, I think Rodriguez wins this a large majority of the time. I think it's a very good matchup for him stylistically. And I think Perry just isn't up to the level of, the opponents that he's been facing recently. So that's the prediction, and that's what I'm personally going to be betting. So enjoy the fights, and we'll see you in the next video.